In this video, we are going to learn how we can seeding catalog database with using Marten initial baseline data. Seeding is essential for initializing the database with baseline data, and Marten provides a feature which called IInitialData interface for this purpose. So we will implement IInitialData interface in order to seed our catalog database with predefined product information. And this interface allows Marten to automatically populate the database when it's first initialized. If you go to the official documentation by clicking this link, you can reach the IInitialData interface implementation on the Marten documentation. So here you can see that this is implement this interface. The class name is InitialData, and in this class we have a constructor accepting the object array. This array will be inserting the database with using the upsert method. So that means using the session.store method and passing these initial data object array, and after that save changes onto the Marten ORM system. This will be save the changes into the PostgreSQL database. So Marten has upsert function which is name is store that will insert if not exist and update if exists. So if you scroll down, you can see that we can also create a static class which name is InitialDataset, and in this class we will create a static read-only arrays for each entry for your database tables. So here you can see that companies and users, and after that if you scroll down in the program CS when configuring our Marten, you can see that we can use initialize with method, and we will passing the new initial data class, and we will passing our arrays which is the entry arrays into the parameters of this class. In this case it is passing the companies. So we will follow the same steps when we are seeding our product data into the PostgreSQL database using the Marten. For that purpose, please open the Visual Studio and locate the catalog API, and under the catalog API we will create catalog initial data class in the data folder. So for that purpose I'm going to right click and create new folder, and this will be our data folder, and include data related operations under this folder. And the first thing I am going to create a new class which name is catalog initial data. So if you come here and see that we have created data folder, and inside of this folder we have created catalog initial data class. So now we can implement this class. The first thing we should do that we will implement this interface which name is IInitialData, and if you implement these interface members, you can see that the populate method is generated from the interface, and this method getting these two parameters. The first one is iDocumentStore in order to store the information to the database and the cancellation token. So let's start the implementation the populate. So in the populate class, in the first thing we should create a new session, and this will be a lightweight session in order to store our incoming initial data. And after creating the session, we can use that if there is any product in the database or not. So if there is any product on database, that means we have already seeding before, and this will be the awaitable function. That's why I'm going to make it async function. And here you can see that we check the database if there is any product exist or not. If not exist, we will continue our seed operation. If exists, we can return the function and not implement any seed operation. At this point we can perform actual operation which is the upsert with using the store method. So here you can see that we will use session.store and using the product as a generic, and passing our object array in the newly created get preconfigured products method. And after that we will use session.saveChangeAsync in order to update or insert all records into the PostgreSQL database. So we have complete this populate method, and after that I'm going to create this get preconfigured products method, and this will be a static method and returning us new product list that will be seeding our database. I'm going to copy paste this code in here, and I will explain after that. You can see that we basically create several products into our database, and this is the IEnumerable product returnable static method which name is get preconfigured products. that you can copy from our GitHub repository, because this is seeding data and information including the product's name, description, image file, price for different type of products. And as you can see that we have also set the ID numbers as a GUID that we can define and use these IDs in the upcoming videos. Okay, this was the seeding database and seeding class. Basically, in this class, we check that if database already has data, we return from the method, but if not any data, it basically seeds with the predefined product entries. And we use Marten's upsert feature in here. So this upsert operation, which is the store method, ensure that existing records are not duplicated on database. So of course we have some considerations about this seed operation. This seed operation should work on the development environment. We can also check before if is there an item in the document in the development environment, but in the production environment we should not recommend this kind of seed operations. So now it's time to register our catalog initial data into the program.cs. So for that purpose, please open the program.cs and go to the location of where we are configuring Marten database. In this configuration, Marten provides some of the extension method that we can use for seeding. For example, if you put dot notation in here, you can see that we have two initialize with extension method that we can initialize these Marten when startup of the application. But I would like to use an if statement because we will seeding database if the environment is development. So after this registration, I'm going to put an if keyword in here, and in here we can use that builder environment is development. So I would like to check that if the environment is development. After that, we can seeding our Marten and PostgreSQL database with using building services and initialize Marten with method. And in here we can paste our initialize class as a generic, which is the catalog initial data. And so we have added the catalog initial data as a generic of this method. This will be provided to our seeding operation when the application startup. Please save the program.cs, and also I'm going to move these using statement into our global using. So go to global using and make this as a global and go back to program.cs. Okay, now we have clear our using statement, and this is our program.cs. This code is basically register our catalog initial data class for seeding database and initialization, and note that we are performing this operation only in the development environment. So there are some main consideration in seeding operation. One critical aspect to consider is the database is ready or not. So what if our PostgreSQL database isn't ready when this code runs? If you open our architecture, you can see that we put the seed operation in the beginning of the program.cs. That means when this catalog API microservices is starting, the seed operation will be work and try to seed data into PostgreSQL database. So what if PostgreSQL database is not ready and not running on Docker environment? So in order to handle this, we should use retry mechanism. While Marten's initialize Marten with method doesn't handle the retries, we can use poly library or ensure our Docker setup is restart the database until it's ready. So for now, I am skipping these kind of problems and continue our seed operation.